To run your company, you'll make decisions in 4 different areas of the business: research and development, marketing, production, and finance. In research and development, or R&D, you are responsible for creating products that meet your customers' demands. You can adjust your current products by moving the size, performance, and/or reliability sliders. When you update your product in R&D, its age will automatically cut in half. This is because customers perceive an updated product as newer. Adjusting size and performance affects positioning and is displayed as coordinates on the perceptual map. These circles on the map represent positioning expectations for low-tech customers and high-tech customers. If your product lands outside of one of these circles, it will not be purchased by that segment of customers. At the beginning of the simulation, all companies start with one product positioned in the middle of the low and high-tech segments. As the simulation progresses, these segments will drift away from each other, requiring strategic R&D decisions from all competitors. In marketing, you are responsible for selling your products to the market. You can set the price, promotional budget, sales budget, and sales forecast for each product by moving the sliders to your desired value. Just like in R&D, you'll need to pay attention to the customer buying criteria to set a price that targets the high-tech or low-tech segment. Your promotional budget will determine customer awareness, and your sales budget will determine accessibility. Awareness and accessibility are additional factors that will influence customers' decision to buy your products versus a competitor's. Your sales forecast is a projection you must make that estimates how many units you expect your product to sell. Developing an accurate forecast is important because your decisions in production and finance rely on this number. In production, you are responsible for scheduling production, managing your plant's capacity, and automation. To schedule production, move the slider to reflect how many units of each product to make. This decision should be based on the forecast you created in marketing. The capacity of your plant is the number of units it can produce running full-time for a year. You can produce up to twice the plant capacity by scheduling overtime work, which yields additional labor costs. You can invest in extra capacity for the future by moving the slider. You can also invest in your plant's automation by moving this slider. Labor costs will go down when you invest in automation. Finally, in finance, it is your responsibility to ensure that your company has enough cash to run the business throughout the year. You can raise funds through 3 methods: issuing stock to the public, borrowing money through current debt due next year, or borrowing money through long-term debt due in 10 years. You can also retire debt and stock by adjusting these sliders, but it's important to make sure you don't run out of money in the present. If your company ends the year with a negative cash position, you'll receive a pricey emergency loan. Keep an eye on your December 31st cash position projection here. If it's negative or close to zero, it's a good idea to borrow money and avoid an emergency loan. One thing to remember: the December 31st cash projection assumes that your sales forecast you made in marketing is accurate. If you sell less than you forecasted, your cash position will be less as well. Now that you have the lay of the land, it's time for you to try it out. We've designed a handful of tasks to introduce you to the decision-making process. For each task, your goal is to make decisions that put your company in the best position. Don't worry if you don't get it yet, though. This is just practice, and there are hints along the way. You will also have access to a user guide, a detailed reference for your CapsimCore simulation. Good luck.